On October 4th, 1957, the Soviet Union launched Sputnik. This small satellite was a shock. It triggered the space race. The United States responded by creating NASA in 1958. NASA's mission was clear. They would lead the US in space exploration. The early days of NASA focused on catching up with the Soviets. Project Mercury was the first step. Its goal was to put a man in space. Alan Shepard achieved this in 1961. John Glenn followed, orbiting Earth in the same year. Mercury proved that humans could survive in space. Project Gemini came next. It aimed to go further. Gemini missions tested rendezvous and docking in orbit. Astronauts practiced spacewalks. These were vital steps for future lunar missions. Gemini showed that long-duration spaceflight was possible. The Apollo program was NASA's ultimate goal. It aimed for the moon. 3 astronauts would ride in the Apollo spacecraft. This powerful machine had 3 parts: a command module, a service module, and a lunar module. This ambitious project captured the world's imagination. Apollo 8 was a pivotal mission. In 1968, it circled the moon. This was humanity's first view of the lunar far side. Apollo 9 and 10 tested the lunar module in Earth orbit. These missions paved the way for the historic Apollo 11. July 20th, 1969 is a date etched in history. Neil Armstrong became the first human to walk on the moon. "One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," he declared. The world watched in awe. The impossible had become reality. Apollo 11 was a triumph, but it wasn't the end. 5 more Apollo missions landed on the moon. They conducted experiments and explored the lunar surface. Apollo 17, the last mission, left the moon in 1972. The program was a testament to human ingenuity. However, the Apollo program was abruptly halted. Apollo missions 18, 19, and 20 were cancelled. The official reason was budget cuts. But some believe there were other motives. Conspiracy theories arose. Had NASA discovered something unsettling? Was there more to the story? One theory claims that the cancelled Apollo missions were a cover. This theory suggests that NASA embarked on a secret mission to Mars. This mission, dubbed Project Redsun, aimed to establish a hidden base on the Red Planet. The goal was to ensure human survival in case of a catastrophe on Earth. Proponents of this theory point to the timing of the cancellations. The Apollo program was at its peak. Why stop when there was so much more to explore? They argue that the technology existed for a Mars mission. They claim that NASA secretly continued development. Key figures emerge in this narrative. Wernher von Braun, a prominent rocket scientist, is often mentioned. Some believe he was involved in the secret Mars project. Others point to anonymous whistleblowers. They claim to have inside knowledge of the mission. Despite the intrigue, concrete evidence for Project Redsun is lacking. No official documents or photographs have surfaced. The claims rest on speculation and hearsay. Skeptics argue that a mission of this scale would be impossible to keep secret. However, the lack of evidence doesn't deter believers. They argue that the truth is out there. They point to NASA's history of secrecy. They question whether we truly know the extent of space exploration. The theory of Project Redsun, while improbable, sparks the imagination. It makes us wonder about the limits of human ambition. What if, just maybe, there's more to the story than we're being told? What else might be hidden in the vast expanse of space?